What screams, "I peaked in high school," without saying it directly?
In this thread, people are just hashing out what their old bullies are doing now. It isn't becoming a cop or a realtor.
Yeah, there's a ton of insecurity in this thread, but alas, it goes hand in hand with Redditors after all.
Wearing your varsity jacket when you are no longer a teenager.
Wearing your varsity letterman jacket to the bar or grocery store when you are in your mid-20s.
See, I don't get this one. My older brother thinks like this and stopped wearing it, so he gave it to me. I still wear it at 29 because it's warm and it looks good. It's a jacket like any other.
So I went to a sporty school and was the only guy on the tennis team to play varsity all 4 years. I remember someone asking why I never got a letterman jacket, and I said, 2 reasons. 1, while I'm the best in our class, it's still tennis, and I know no one gives a crap about us. 2, I look at the football guys and would probably want to kick my own ass if I was walking around with a letterman jacket like they do.
I feel like a dork wearing mine, but it is a very warm jacket.
Honestly, just wearing it after high school in general, like I saw someone wear one in university and everyone was shooting him, looks like, take it off, man.
When I arrived at the school where I currently work, there was a guy in his late 20s who attended every football practice and wanted to attend every basketball practice because he played at the school and wanted to show his support. I shut down him attending basketball practice immediately. His parents called my boss, who was so flabbergasted he couldn't form words when he was telling me that I'm within my rights to refuse to allow him in the gym. The odd thing, we've never been that good at football here, but that dude wore his letter jacket as a badge of pride.
He had to have been some sort of slow, right?
Was he intellectually disabled? Like brain damage or something?
Forcing their kids to relive their own youth when they hit high school? For me, I saw a lot of those about 10 years after graduation, when I was a cable guy. Every Wednesday was non-pay day. All the installers went out with about 25 jobs each and either collected the past due or disconnected them at the pole. It's been a while. I worked the area where I grew up, and it was always awkward seeing the popular kids, cheerleaders, athletes, and so on that had fallen pretty far. I was a cable guy, so no reason to brag, but it was shocking in some cases to see where they were. Meth is a hell of a drug.
Brother, I worked as a cable guy and in retail and food and warehouse and forklift. Cable paid the best and was the most enjoyable. I'm trying to get back into it after I decided school isn't for me.
Nothing wrong at all about being a cable guy. You work in a profession that requires competent workers to do a lot of technical things. It's not glamorous, but a good career nonetheless.
Still bringing up high school stories like they were last weekend.
My wife and I do this occasionally, but only because we went to school together and thus have to sometimes recollect things the other person was less aware of. I disagree. A good story is a good story. If they bring it up and it's relevant, then it's fine. It's only an indicator if it's done a lot or without relevance.
Back in '82, I used to be able to throw a pigskin a quarter mile.
One time, he got 4 touchdowns in one game, but this legend is now a depressed shoe salesman.
Using your high school graduation pic as your social media photo.
I don't know, but I do know I peaked in high school for a fact. We had a 40-man Halo 3 tournament from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. one Saturday. 100 deaths wins, and I averaged 65-plus kills for my team in all of the games. Final round, as the sun was coming up, and I pulled off a 78-kill game with 3 deaths to win the tournament for my team. I'm still living off that high almost 20 years later.
They openly brag about or are too proud of high school athletic accomplishments. Always talking about what happened in high school. My friend and I are 25, and she regularly brings up things that happened 10 years ago in an effort to put other people down, and always sending me Facebook or Instagram posts of people I haven't thought about in years.
Faith, not fear, or lions, not sheep, slogans on shirts and trucks. We get it, bro, you're super tough.
If coach had put me in during the 4th quarter, we would have been state champions. No doubt in my mind. I would have gone pro if I didn't tear my ACL.
What if Uncle Rico was right, though? Makes me sad to think.
I once threw 4 touchdowns for Polk High in the city championship. Used to be able to throw the pigskin a quarter mile.
Dude was a cocky jerk in high school. When I saw him years later bagging groceries, he looked at me with a look of half shame, half I hope he doesn't recognize me. My life wasn't great either, but at least I didn't treat people like I was better than them.
Just my opinion, but working a dead-end job years after high school isn't an indicator of emotional maturity or lack thereof. They could be a better person now, and if so, yet to peak. You're literally currently and actively looking down on him and people who work at grocery stores, LMAO. You aren't the person you think you are.
When I was doing my chemistry degree, I ran into the girl who had been the nastiest psycho bitch ever in high school, sitting behind the checkout at the supermarket with a totally defeated look on her face. I don't think she even recognized me, and seeing her with a weak smile on her face instead of her usual hate-filled snarl was kind of a shock. People change. Be the better person and have mercy. That's being the bigger man. If they don't change, they get what they deserve. Who knows? Maybe one day you will need the same.
Probably not exactly what this is looking for, but nerdy people who never matured beyond their high school I'm the bullied one attitude. These people are overdramatic, addicted to social media, and are constantly starting drama, but then claim victimhood when people don't agree. Like, dude, we are all nerds. You aren't special, and we aren't here to raise you. Raise yourself or get professional help. Still acting like a typical mean girl or high school jerk when they're damn near or past 35?
I turned up to my 10-year reunion, and 80% of people that showed up were these people. I'm not bothering with the 20-year reunion. I'm already in touch with anyone that was worth it since high school.
I'm struggling with a friend of mine for this reason. She went straight from college to med school and hasn't had the adult development that happens when you graduate and don't have a built-in social circle after age 24. She's so catty and still adheres to social hierarchies. And as a 31-year-old who is almost 10 years removed from those dynamics, it's just so weird. My son's Little League team had some of the kids whose moms were born and raised in that town and all went to high school together. They weren't mean per se, but they definitely were a very childish clique and would obviously talk and whisper amongst themselves. If anyone tried to talk to one of them, generally the others would move away and call the other woman over to rejoin the group. Very weird, childish behavior. I wouldn't say that. I know someone who fits the mean girl mold, and she's still manipulating her way up. VP at a Fortune 500 at age 33. That's a prolific rate of successfully taking credit for others' work. Being a superficial, manipulative person can get you far. Forcing their kids to be football players, dancers, or actors because that was their thing in high school. They weren't good enough to go big leagues after school, and they can't cope with that, so they live vicariously through their kids.
What's funny about this is I was a high school star in football and wanted nothing more than for my son to do the same. Guess what? The only sport he even halfway liked was cross country. I don't know what I expected, but he just never even looked at football as a viable option. And honestly, he is now 23, and I am thankful he didn't. Concussions are crazy dangerous. Also, my daughter, who is 4 years younger, also didn't like any sports. I really thought they would love them because, I did. Lesson learned. Just because I like something doesn't mean someone else does. My cousin is doing this to relive her softball glory days. Her only job is as a year-round coach, competitive and high school, for her girls. They've built a batting cage in her husband's shop, and they regularly skip funerals, weddings, and other family events for softball. Not to completely knock my cousin, she kept a scholarship in college, so I would imagine she was good back in the day, but she has been eating, sleeping, and breathing this life since her girls were old enough to play. They act like they enjoy it, and I so hope that's true, because otherwise, the fact that this woman has devoted her entire existence to live through her children this way is just so sad.
But son, this is your dream. No, Dad, it's your dream. Moments.
In my town, it's always car salesmen who were hired by the owner, their father, or home renovation salesmen who were hired by the owner, their father.
When I was younger, I bought a car, and the representative was in his 40s, wore wraparound shades, and called himself Juice. I don't know his hobbies, but he looked like a guy who took his rec league softball team way too seriously.
Nepotism screams peaked in high school. I agree.
Or some of them even go to run oil field companies and are directly hired by the owner, their father. I knew a dude who took over their dad's AC business, and his parents moved out of their house and gave it to him when he got married. Every year, his family goes on vacations around the world, and by all accounts, he's doing fine by the business.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. It really helps. Subscribe for more, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next one.